Hey y'all, Novi here. I just wanted to make a quick start guide for anyone who's getting into the First Descendant. So let's go into our inventory, and as you can see it, we have our weapons on this side and we have our modules and reactor on the other side. So your weapons, it's a lot like Destiny where they have the different types of bullets. You got the standard bullets, uh, you know, impact rounds, and then high powered rounds. And then there's also special rounds, which are orange like that. So they have 4 different types of ammo. And then of course you have the gun rarities. So for example, this one's like standard, rare, and then you have ultimate weapons. So moving on from there, as you can see, it says your DPS in the right hand corner. And when you're leveling up, personally, I would just go by the DPS, and I'd have like one gun of each different type of round so that you don't run out of ammo. You will run out of ammo, especially the special rounds. I haven't ran out of ammo too much with the impact rounds, but the common rounds or general rounds, you will also run out of ammo for sure. And early on, you'll find that your inventory starts to fill up with low level weapons. So when this happens, personally, what I've been doing is you can go buy each one and press J on them to designate them as junk, but I find that designate all as junk the easiest thing. So unless there's anything that you really care about, I would equip your best weapons, then designate all as junk like that, and then you can just delete them by holding control. I won't do that right now, but personally, I find that that's easy, and it's an easy way to clear it out, especially if you're leveling up pretty quickly. So moving on from there, we have our reactor. And as you can see, the reactor has a number of things, but the main thing that it controls is your skill power and your sub attack power. So, it affects how your skills work, and then it has some other ratios as well that we won't get into right now. And then it also has some modifiers at the bottom. Personally, I've just been upgrading my reactor as soon as I get a better one. So see as these have higher skill power, just throw those in there, and eventually you'll care about what you have on the bottom. But as you're leveling up, it doesn't really matter. Same with these. Eventually you're going to want probably max HP and defense. That's what seems to be the best. But yeah, shield isn't very good, so definitely go with HP. And yeah, so max shield, not good, but go with HP and defense. But as of right now, when you're leveling up, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I touched on it earlier, but going back to Descendants real quick, the way that you unlock new ones is you can either choose to buy them, which personally I wouldn't suggest it. But if you're really desperate, you can just purchase them directly from the shop for Caliber, basically real world money, which not a huge fan of, but that's just sort of how it is. Nexon is really, really greedy, and they will take all your money. So personally, I wouldn't do that, but if you're in a bind and you need to, you can buy them. However, the way that I would suggest getting them is if you go to your world map and then you go to access info and then you go to descendants, you can go to any of your descendants here. So say that you want ultimate bunny. This is a really nice thing that they've done. Basically, these are all of the items you need. Then you'll have to craft these 3 modules as well as this. And then, well, you don't craft this, you just get this. But basically the way you get it is if you press F, you can see acquisition info. This tells you how to get it, which is really, really nice. So you can do a hangman intercept battle, an obstructor intercept battle, or this mission. So basically, it's really nice because you can go through anything and press F on it, and it just shows you how to get it. And this goes for any of the descendants as well as any of the weapons. If you want to grind for them, you can grind specifically exactly where you want to get them. I have heard that the grind can take quite a bit of time. Someone on Reddit said that it took them 80 hours to grind for Ultimate Bunny alone, so that's a bit rough. So I can totally understand if people are just outright buying them. It's definitely a lot more efficient, especially if you're making like $20 an hour, because that's like 3 hours to get Ultimate Bunny versus 80. But if time is on your side, feel free to grind for them. So moving on from here, let's come over to the weapons workbench. Now, when you're leveling up, I wouldn't worry too much about it, but I'm just going to touch on it. If you get a weapon that you really like and you don't think you're going to get another, or you get like an ultimate weapon, you can actually select weapons to transfuse, whatever. Basically a lower level with a higher level, it'll take these, so you do need those, but basically it'll upgrade your gun. So just something to note. So if you really like a gun and you don't want to get rid of it, you can upgrade the lower level guns. And then there are other things you can do with the weapon workbench, such as weapon readjustment. So if you have a weapon and you don't like its attributes, you can change them here using this component. And you can also lock the attributes that you do like, which is quite nice. As you can see, it will take more components though if you lock them. And then finally, there is one last thing here. You can enhance unique ability. However, you do need a weapon that has a unique ability. So again, not really relevant right when you're leveling up. So I touched on the inventory earlier, but we're going to go back there and talk about mods. So mods, again, aren't too important when you're leveling up because you're just changing out guns and other stuff so fast. But let's start with our Descendant module real quick. You can do equip recommended module, and while you're leveling up, you're going to keep getting new ones. So that may be what I would suggest doing, but it's not really that good. But basically, you have these skill modules, and it's sort of like Warframe where you have a module capacity, and that's how many modules you can have in one place. And basically, you can equip modules from down below, or unequip them, decide what you want. Personally, from what I've heard, defense and HP are the most important things. So increased defense and increased HP are very, very important. And then from there on, you can just read through them and figure out what you think looks the best. Like skill critical hit rate, that might be good if you have a skill that's being used over and over again. Attribute resistances aren't very good from what I've heard, just because the way the curves work, they're not really worth going for. But you can just do whatever you want there. And then you can also go into module additional settings, and you can have you can increase basically your max capacity once you have energy activators. Of course, you'll have to grind for these, but that is something to note, as it will increase your max capacity, which is very, very important to get better modules. So you may be asking yourself, how do I upgrade modules? So basically, you're going to want to come over to this guy named Cillian and talk to him. He's in the left part of Albion, and you can enhance or dismantle modules as well as combine them, but you do need mastery rank 9 for that. So if you go into enhance modules, you can go to here and say we want to enhance our increased HP. We can see its current stats right now here, where it has the max HP plus 22%, and you could enhance it to plus 31.2%. And the capacity cost will go up by 1, and then we have the cost of Cooper shards and gold down here. If you want to upgrade it more, you can do this. As you can see, the module capacity will be increasing, and it does require a certain mastery rank as well. However, as you can see, the max HP percent goes up by a lot. I mean, really, it's a pretty huge upgrade, especially if you get up into those higher things. So like say a maxed out module, plus 218% versus plus 22%. Pretty huge difference there. So I definitely suggest upgrading these when you want to or can. The Cooper shard cost does go up by a lot, but you can grind these for days, especially when you level up more. So that is how you upgrade your Descendant and weapon modules. So it looks like you have to have your weapon modules equipped to be able to upgrade them. So let's talk about weapon modules real quick. You can go into your weapons, and then you have your modules down here. As you can see, we don't have very many. I would say that usually in games like this, the modules that matter the most are attack percent increase. So exactly right there. Then you're going to want fire rate, critical chance, and then also critical hit damage. Those are usually the ones that matter the most, and they generally all increase about the same if they're multiplied together. You might want weak point damage eventually, but not off the bat. I'd definitely say critical hit rate, firearm attack percent, and all those are the most important things. So like, for example, firearm attack plus 12%, that sounds great to me. Anyways, those are the things I would say matter the most. Recoil, honestly, probably not even worth it. At least on the computer, I haven't had any issues controlling the recoil on any of the guns with no modifications at all. So let's touch on mastery rank real quick. This is where you upgrade your mastery rank. You should know this by now. It's just at the prime hands. If we go to the map, it's just over here. And basically, your mastery rank affects a number of things. As you saw earlier, it affects the how high you can level up your modules. But so for Descendant modules, it increases the capacity, and for your weapon modules, it increases the number of slots and capacity. Then you get more equipment and storage slots as well as the consumable inventory. You get shape stabilizer inventory limit as well, and then tracking count as well. So mastery rank is pretty important. The way that you actually increase your mastery rank is by either playing with new Descendants and leveling them up, or playing with weapons and leveling those up. So as you can see, every single weapon that you have has a proficiency, and when you level up the weapons through their proficiency, you'll get mastery rank increases as well. So if you want to get the most mastery rank, just use new weapons that you haven't used before, and you should be leveling up your mastery rank pretty quickly. So anyways, that was just a quick overview of some of the game systems As I go through, I'll make more guides and more in-depth guides on specific systems. I just wanted to give a quick overview, especially if you're starting out. I know this probably wasn't the best for very advanced players, but if you're starting out, hopefully this helped you out and gave you a quick overview of all the different systems in the game. And if you're having trouble with different missions, how you can give your character a quick boost to make them stronger. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. If you want to support me, feel free to use my content creator code that I will post in the comments below. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.